I'm in conversation with my family doctor, Dr. Michael Setzer, and he's got some very interesting insights. Obviously, from a medical perspective, there's a lot that we need to listen to the medical first responders. But Michael, somebody shared this with me the other day, and I've forgotten who it was, so I wish I could give them credit. It's not my idea, but I'd be interested in your perspective. From a medical perspective, we talk about comorbidities or pre-existing conditions. So I've got asthma, for example, my wife's got glandular fever. We're a little bit nervous about getting COVID. But what about pre-existing conditions in relationships and in businesses? I think COVID is going to hit people hard. Let's say your marriage is in a little bit of trouble. Now you've got to spend, 12 weeks locked up in the same house as somebody you might not like. Or if you've got a business where the business was struggling already, that's going to be a pre-existing condition for COVID to hit. Are you concerned that COVID is going to hurt society even more than the medical impacts that you're seeing in your practice?
I think undoubtedly, I think as much as the medical impact, if you look at the medical impact of COVID, it's actually far less than many other diseases that we have around. It's much less than TB, it's much less than HIV, it's much less than heart disease, it's much less than many of the cancers. I think the main impact that COVID really has is on a social level and on a business level, as you're saying. And I think the opportunities and the challenges that people will be faced with in this time will actually determine if they're healthier pre-COVID or post-COVID. The pre-existing stuff within the marriage and the pre-existing stuff within the business, how people will negotiate that will determine their health in the marriage and their health in their business. I'm not a businessman, but I have no doubt that there are certain businesses that have seen these challenges, have gone to their other associates or their workers and said, guys, how can we as a team make this work? And they will come out much stronger. And the people who have not done that will come out much weaker. The same thing in a marriage. We can see by spending all this time with our spouses where we need to do some work. And we need to look internally and see where we need to do the work to make our marriage a better place and to make our home a better place and a happier place and a more secure place and a place that can be an environment that actually gives and adds to society. You want to be a person that adds to society and adds to the benefit of mankind and not a person who's just an end consumer. And I think we have a wonderful opportunity to add value to so many people and to so many lives.
Michael, this is why I wanted to chat to you, because I know that you've obviously got a medical perspective and you're taking the disease seriously, but I know that this is a passion for you, that as much as this is a damaging and dangerous disease, there's an invitation or an opportunity in the disease for people to actually look at their whole lives, not just protecting themselves from COVID, but maybe using this lockdown and disruption as an opportunity to fix other things that were broken. I mean, that from a doctor's perspective, that would be a good outcome, wouldn't it, of the global pandemic?
Very, very, very much so. I have a question and I still have not got an answer, but the question is, we're so used to seeing people's faces. Now we don't see people's faces anymore. And the question is, maybe we were never really looking at people. We're so busy looking at ourselves that we never actually ever saw anybody else. So the message we've been given is, you didn't want to look at somebody else, now you won't see somebody else. And now if you want to see someone smiling or somebody upset or somebody is in different frame of mind, you have to look a lot closer at the expressions in their eyes. You have to really try hard. And I think that that's also one of the messages. We need to try hard in our interpersonal relationships.
What a great message. I remember the first 2 or 3 days here in South Africa when we were allowed out, for those early morning exercises. And everybody was just greeting everybody else on the streets in our suburb. You live in the same suburb I do. You probably had the same feeling. I feel we've lost that a little bit now. Now everybody sort of avoids each other. Yes, we have to keep this physical distancing, but maybe we've forgotten again what it's like to actually really, the Zulu greeting, Siyabonga, I see you, is the way we actually say hello in South Africa. Maybe we need to embrace that a little bit more, say, I see you.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I actually wasn't aware that Siyabonga, that's what it meant. But yeah. I think it's a greeting. I think it's the greeting I personally need to be using. I think it's something we should all, I think it's a message to get out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a wonderful, wonderful message. I think it's something we should all get out there. But, because we, as I said to you, we are in corona fatigue, but let's up the ante, let's up ourselves, let's inspire ourselves, inspire other people. and let's see Abonga, let's see other people.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. So, Michael, finally in our conversation, can I just get back to some of the medical stuff, your area of expertise? I know that you've said that we are now entering the most dangerous phase of the disease. We locked down so that the medical profession could get ready. And now that we're ready, it really is up to each of us as individuals. I know there's obvious advice we can give to people that's been given every day. You know, wear a mask, keep the physical distance, hand sanitize, etc. And maybe there's a bit of fatigue in people hearing that message. As a doctor, as a medical doctor, you've seen COVID patients in your own practice. What would you want to remind people of at the moment? What need to be our priorities?
There's a few messages. Number one, I think, is don't panic. Okay. Number two is don't test yourself too soon. I get many phone calls. I had tea with somebody on Sunday, which I shouldn't have done in the first place, but be that as it may. And they phoned me on Tuesday and told me that they're COVID positive and now want to test. That is a waste of resources, a waste of time. You are going to test negative. It is too soon. If you've had a contact, which is significant, which is more than 15 minutes without a mask at less than 1.5 meters, then wait 10 to 14 days post-contact and then test. Do not do it before, because you are going to test negative. It'll give you a false sense of security, and it's not a good thing. That's on the medical level. Another point is there are things that will help boost your immune system, which they may be controversial, but the general feeling is they can't harm and they may help. Vitamin D is one of them. Despite the fact that we live in a very sun-enriched country, a lot of people are vitamin D deficient. So on a personal level, I take at least 2,000 units of vitamin D every day. Zinc has also been found to be protective of the antioxidant, as well as selenium. So I would strongly recommend that everyone should take a dose of vitamin D, a dose of zinc, a dose of selenium. It hasn't been shown to stop you getting corona, but what it does do is that they've shown in retrospective studies that people who've developed coronavirus disease, the severity of the disease has been mitigated by people who take these things on a daily basis. That also definitely helps. One other thing is nasal douching with the salt water solution has also been found to lower the viral load in the body and also protect against that kind of environment. So these are all the things that one is able to do to protect oneself. Obviously, in this weather, one needs to dress warmly, one has to eat properly, one has to sleep properly. Exercise is very important. And the most important out of all of them is to make sure you're consuming enough liquids. It is cold. People don't like to drink too much, but it's important to keep well hydrated in this weather and in this time. And those are really the main medical things.
I mean, it sounds to me, Michael, that you're basically just saying to people, keep yourself healthy. Focus on keeping healthy at the moment. That's probably the best thing you can do. COVID is in the air. COVID is probably coming to a place near you. Don't panic about it, but keep yourself healthy. Would that be a fair summary?
That's exactly right. COVID has now arrived in full force in South Africa and in Gauteng. We're now going to start becoming like the Western Cape. There is no question. But keep yourself healthy, keep yourself focused, keep yourself inspired, do good in the world. And I think that's the general message.
Brilliant. Well, now you know why I wanted to speak to my doctor, Dr. Setzer. He's got great advice, not just a good medical practitioner, but somebody who wants to help us live better lives and more healthy lives. Michael, thanks for your time. I really appreciate this. And thanks for the work that you're doing on the front line of the disease.
It's a privilege and a pleasure to be involved with you and your wonderful family. And just you should be well, you should be blessed, and you should be safe.
Thank you very much.